Welcome back to part 2 of our Separatist Droid breakdown. In part 1, we covered the rank-and-file droids, but now we're venturing deeper. From underwater terrors to aerial hunters. These are the droids built for the extreme. Let's dive in. The Dwarf Spider Droid. The DS-D1 was a compact, four-legged walker built for demolition and anti-vehicle combat. Its low center of gravity made it stable and capable of navigating rough terrain, including jungles, cliffs, and tight urban spaces. A head-mounted heavy blaster cannon delivered sustained fire, able to punch through armor and fortifications. Though slow, its reinforced frame could absorb heavy damage. It also carried explosive charges for obstacle clearing and breaching. While not mass-produced like B1s, DS-D1s were valuable assets, deployed to support infantry and lock down key positions. Republic troops quickly learned to target them before they entrenched. The LM-432 Crab Droid, also known as the Muckraker, this six-legged droid was an all-terrain assault droid manufactured by Bactoid Armor Workshop designed for swamp and urban warfare. It excelled in unstable terrain thanks to its spindly, multi-jointed legs. Equipped with a single blaster cannon and front-facing claw appendages, it could clamp onto and tear through enemy vehicles or structures. Some variants featured rotating plasma torches for slicing through armor. Though lacking in strategic intelligence, its mobility and brute force capability made it a valuable support unit in battles such as the assault on Utapau. The Droidekas. Few droids in galactic history are as iconic or feared as the Droidekas, also known as destroyer droids. Equipped with twin rapid-fire blasters, they could unleash powerful energy bursts with deadly precision. Their personal deflector shields created nearly impenetrable barriers against blaster fire and explosives, making them tough to defeat with small arms. A key feature was their ability to transform into a rolling wheel, allowing quick movement or retreat. However, their shields needed regular recharging and were vulnerable to clever tactics, such as rolling grenades underneath them, a trick Ahsoka and Anakin famously taught Saw Gerrera and his sister during the Clone Wars. Several Droideka models existed, notably the P, Q, and W series, each with subtle variations. The P series focused on enhanced targeting systems. The Q series offered improved shield regeneration, and the W series incorporated upgraded blaster cooling for sustained fire. Despite these differences, all variants served as vital shock troops, feared by clone troopers and Jedi alike. Several other Droideka variants also emerged, each built for a specialized role on the battlefield. The Droideka Sharpshooter. The Droideka Sharpshooter trades shields for long-range precision, using a heavy blaster rifle and advanced targeting systems. It retains wheel mode mobility for quick repositioning, but its lack of shielding makes it vulnerable to flanking. Designed for urban engagements, it excels at ranged attacks, but sacrifices the standard Droideka's defensive strength. The Ultra Droideka. The Ultra Droideka was a larger, more powerful version of the standard destroyer droid, used during the Clone Wars. Sporting heavy weaponry and fortified shields, it needed immense energy to maintain its defenses, and often fought without shields when protected by nearby units. Secret production facilities were raided by Jedi to prevent their deployment due to their devastating battlefield potential. Droideka Mark II. The Droideka Mark II improved on the original with tougher armor, stronger shields, and sharper targeting. It kept its iconic rolling form and twin blasters, but added better squad coordination and precision. Deployed late in the Clone Wars, it was feared for combining heavy firepower with impressive battlefield durability. Grapple Droideka. The Grapple Droideka featured mechanical claws instead of blasters, and heavier armor but weaker shields, first used during the Trade Federation's invasion of Naboo. Squads were deployed to guard high-value targets. Though tougher in close combat, their limited ranged capability made them a niche force in the droid arsenal. The Scorpenek Annihilator Droid. Although first shown in the Book of Boba Fett, the Scorpenek Annihilator Droid was originally deployed during the Clone Wars. Designed as a heavy-duty counterpart to the Droideka, it featured dual rapid-fire laser cannons and a powerful deflector shield, making it capable of tearing through clone platoons and disabling armored targets with brutal efficiency. Its intimidating scorpion-like frame wasn't just for show. It was a walking engine of destruction. Due to its enormous production cost, fewer than 100 units were ever manufactured. Still, when deployed on worlds like Kala 4, Formos, and Palani, their impact was unforgettable. The T-Series and Super Tactical Droids were the strategic core of the Separatist military. The T-Series, developed by Bactoid Combat Automata, served as frontline commanders, analyzing battlefield data, adapting strategies, and coordinating massive droid deployments across land, sea, and air. Though their skeletal frames seemed fragile, their advanced processors gave them a sharp tactical edge. Trusted by leaders like Count Dooku, T-Series units turned waves of mindless droids into coordinated war machines. Building on their success, the Confederacy introduced the Super Tactical Droid. Smarter, stronger, and more independent. Heavily armored and equipped with enhanced logic cores, these droids could challenge even Jedi generals. Notable units like Kalani and Kraken managed planetary invasions and prolonged sieges with ruthless efficiency. Unlike their T-Series predecessors, Super Tactical Droids were designed not just to follow orders, but to lead with authority. Together, these two lines made droid warfare terrifyingly intelligent during the Clone Wars. The Aqua Droids. The Aqua Droids were battle droids built by the Separatists for underwater and amphibious combat. Made by Heyor Chal Engineering, these humanoid droids operated in deep water where others couldn't. Their limbs could transform into fins for swimming or weapons for fighting. They were equipped with blaster cannons and torpedo launchers to attack submarines and underwater targets. Reinforced for high-pressure environments and fitted with sonar sensors, they navigated and fought in low visibility. Deployed during attacks on Kamino and Mon Cala, Aqua Droids led underwater assaults and defended aquatic areas. While optimized for aquatic warfare, they could also operate effectively on land, providing the Separatists with adaptable offensive units. Their ability to swarm underwater gave the Separatists an edge in marine battles, and their dual terrain capabilities made them a versatile threat across multiple environments. The Manta Droid. The Manta Droid subfighter was the Separatists' go-to underwater attack craft, designed by Heyor Chal Engineering for deep-sea combat. Shaped like a manta ray, it could glide swiftly through water or fly through the air, making it ideal for amphibious assaults. Armed with blaster cannons and torpedoes, it could engage both enemy ships and underwater facilities. Its flexible wings adjusted for stability in different environments, and its droid brain allowed it to operate without a pilot. These subfighters were heavily used in the Battle of Mon Cala, where their agility and firepower gave the Separatists a brutal edge beneath the waves. The Vulture Droid. The Vulture Droid, or Variable Geometry Self-Propelled Battle Droid, was a key starfighter of the Separatist Navy. Built by Heyor Chal Engineering, it flew both in space and atmosphere, allowing rapid deployment from orbit to ground. Launched in swarms from droid control ships, Vulture droids overwhelmed enemies with numbers and aggressive tactics. Armed with twin blasters and concussion missiles, they could damage starfighters and light capital ships. They could transform into four-legged walkers for ground patrols and ambushes. Each had a simple droid brain for navigation and targeting, but relied on central command signals. Without coordination, they were vulnerable to jamming. Despite this, their low cost and flexibility made them essential to Separatist aerial assaults. The Hyena-class droid bomber. The Hyena-class droid bomber was a heavy assault version of the Vulture Droid, made by Bactoid Armor Workshop. Designed for space-to-surface strikes and orbital bombardments, it played a key role in Separatist planetary assaults. With a broader body and 4 articulated wings, it carried a larger payload than the Vulture. Armed with proton bombs, guided torpedoes, and heavy blasters, the Hyena was perfect for bombing Republic fortifications and troop concentrations. Flying in tight formations, they coordinated strikes via central control or tactical droids. Though slower and less agile than Vultures, their precision and firepower made them devastating in coordinated assaults. Their programming allowed complex targeting, reflecting the Separatists' mechanized warfare strategy. The Tri-Fighter. The droid Tri-Fighter was a high-speed starfighter that defined the Separatists' late Clone Wars arsenal. Its unique tri-wing rotary design allowed unmatched agility and lightning-fast maneuvers in space combat. Powered by a compact, aggressive droid brain, it excelled at targeting and pursuit, locking onto Republic ARC 170s and the Jedi starfighters with deadly precision. Armed with laser cannons, ion blasters, and proton torpedoes, Tri-Fighters spun through dogfights like relentless predators. Though lacking shields, their speed and swarm tactics made them formidable hunters. Deployed in large numbers during battles like Coruscant, they blurred across the stars, a terrifying, precise force of mechanical aggression, embodying the cold efficiency of the Separatist war machine. The HMP Droid Gunship was the Separatists' airborne brute, designed for heavy firepower and relentless assault, manufactured by Bactoid Fleet Ordnance. This gunship featured rotating winglets for stable flight and vertical takeoff, making it perfect for rapid deployment. Armed with blaster cannons, laser turrets, and payload launchers, it could unleash destruction from the skies while carrying battle droids into combat zones. Its droid brain allowed for autonomous operations, removing the need for a pilot. First seen over Munilinst and later in battles like Kashyyyk, the HMP brought overwhelming air support that crushed resistance before troops even hit the ground. The Pistoeka Sabotage Droid. Nicknamed the Buzz Droid, this droid was a specialized unit designed for starfighter interdiction. Deployed in swarms from Vulture-class droid starfighters and tri-fighters, these insect-like droids latched onto enemy vessels to disable critical systems using tools like drills, plasma cutters, saws, and pincers. Equipped with red sensors and programmed to self-destruct after completing their mission, buzz droids were difficult to target, but vulnerable if their central eye was struck. They played a key role for the Separatists during the Clone Wars and continued to be used by other factions in later conflicts. The Decimator. The SD Decimator droid is a heavy hitter in the Separatist arsenal, built to flatten defenses and dominate open battlefields. Mounted on a sturdy chassis, it unleashed synchronized volleys of lasers and missile strikes, capable of shattering fortified positions and sweeping away infantry. Despite its firepower, it wasn't nimble, so operators used it to hold choke points or support large-scale assaults. Its bulk meant few models made it into service, but wherever a Decimator appeared, it was a game-changer. Its presence alone could tip the balance of power on the battlefield. The IG-227. The IG-227 Hailfire-class droid tank was a high-speed, wheel-based missile platform engineered by Hayor Chal Engineering for the Separatist war machine. Rolling on massive hoop wheels, it could zip across flat terrain or shallow water at impressive velocity. Twin racks of Hailfire-guided missiles, 15 per launcher, delivered devastating payloads capable of taking out AT-TE walkers in a single strike. A retractable dual blaster provided close-range defense against infantry. Lightly armored but fast, the Hailfire excelled in hit-and-run missile barrages. However, once its missiles were expended, it needed to pull back to reload, relying on support droids to resupply it mid-battle. The NR-N99. The NR-N99 Persuader-class droid enforcer was a fast-moving assault platform built by the Techno Union. Its massive central wheel enabled high-speed traversal over open terrain, while 4 stabilizer legs maintained balance on uneven ground. Armed with dual laser cannons and sometimes missile racks, it excelled at suppressing infantry and harassing light vehicles. Designed for sweeping attacks and pursuit roles, its continuous firepower made it deadly in open-field combat. However, its oversized frame limited maneuverability in urban or enclosed spaces, and it lacked substantial armor. Even so, its speed, firepower, and profile made it a disruptive force on the battlefield. The OG-9 Homing Spider Droid. The OG-9 Homing Spider Droid was built for one purpose: siege warfare. With its towering four-legged frame and central heavy cannon, it delivered precise, long-range fire to shatter bunkers, tanks, and fortified positions. Though slow, its fire control systems allowed it to strike with deadly accuracy from afar, softening defenses before infantry moved in. Its sturdy build and reinforced armor helped it survive return fire, holding the line while dealing punishing blows. While vulnerable to fast-moving units up close, the OG-9 excelled when positioned right, anchoring assaults and dismantling enemy strongholds from a distance. On the battlefield, it wasn't meant to chase. It was meant to dominate, and when one locked onto you, it rarely missed. The Virus Droid. Known for its eerie three-legged frame and full 360-degree fire coverage, the Octoptara Tri-Droid, often nicknamed the Virus Droid, was a specialized Separatist unit designed for anti-personnel and siege tactics. Its rotating head-mounted triple laser cannons allowing it to engage multiple targets simultaneously, while its hydraulic legs enabled fast movement across varied terrain. Some variants deployed deadly virus canisters during biological assaults. Though powerful, the legs were a known vulnerability. Targeted strikes could topple the unit. With both smaller combat versions and larger artillery-scale Magnum models, the Octoptara became a terrifying force in close-quarters urban warfare and planetary invasions. Central Control Systems. Behind the seemingly endless ranks of battle droids stood the true brainpower of the Separatist war machine: Central Control Systems. These advanced networked intelligences didn't just issue orders, they coordinated entire war fronts. Pulling real-time data from droid units, starships, and planetary sensors, they directed logistics, shifted reinforcements, and ran predictive simulations to adapt to changing battle conditions. Some operated from deep within command ships or fortified bases, while others were decentralized across the Separatist network. Their strategic oversight turned thousands of mechanical soldiers into a unified war effort. But this centralization came at a price. If one system was compromised or destroyed, it could disrupt entire operations. For the Republic, targeting these control hubs wasn't just tactical, it was essential. In a war of machines, the mind was always the most valuable target. And that wraps up our full tour of Separatist droids, frontline cannon fodder to the most dangerous machines in the galaxy. If you've enjoyed this series, hit like, subscribe, and let us know which faction we should cover next. More galactic tech, tactics, and lore are coming your way. And as always, may the Force be with you.